So what are the different, you have this particular type of burger made of mycoprotein. What are all the different versions of alternative proteins that are available today and that are growing and that could develop? And are you committed to the mycoprotein, or is there a chance you would switch to one of the others? What are the list of the different proteins that are being developed and could be the future?
Sure, great question, Steve. So right now, if you think about plant-based proteins that are used to make these types of alternative meat products that we're talking about today, there's really either wheat, pea, or soy. Those are the three crops that are primarily used to make those products. And so pea protein is really among the most popular of those. That's what the Beyond Burger is made out of, as an example. And those are fine products. Again, they are not as good for you as eating a kale salad, but they are better for you than eating animal meat. And so, when people go to Carl's Jr. or they go to Burger King and they have their choice between getting a conventional slaughter-based burger or getting one of these plant-based burgers, we have to keep it real. It is a better choice to get the plant-based burger. It doesn't mean it's the optimal choice. It just means it's better. Similarly, though, in the world of mycoproteins, just as there are lots of different plants that we can make foods from, there are lots of different species of fungi that we can make these products from. And so Glenn mentioned corn, Quorn, which has been in the market now for 25 years and is a good product. Most of the time it's combined with egg whites, unfortunately, but they do have some products that don't have any animal products in them. They have some of their products are vegan. However, they rely on one fungi protein. It's called Fusarium venenatum in Latin, and that is what their entire business is based on. It would be as if people only ate one animal, right? People only ate chickens, they didn't eat cows or pigs, or people only ate peas and they didn't eat, wheat or corn or pineapples or any other plants, right? And so there are thousands of species of fungi out there that are virtually untapped. That world is virtually untapped. And one of the real benefits of choosing mycoprotein is that you get a whole food. In the case of a pea protein-based burger or a soy protein-based burger, you're basically taking out the fiber and the fat and concentrating it down into a protein isolate, right? And that's fine. There's nothing inherently wrong with that, but it's not a whole food, and people are desperately in need of fiber in this country. We don't really have a protein deficiency in the United States, but we do have a fiber deficiency. More than 90% of Americans are fiber deficient, and being fiber deficient is associated with all types of maladies, not just constipation, but colon cancer and a lot of other horrible ailments. So we need more fiber. And one of the ways to get that, of course, is just to eat whole plant foods. But if you want to make a meat alternative out of whole plant foods, it's very hard to do. And so by using mycoproteins, there are many species in the fungi protein world that we can grow the mycelium of them and get something that both is highly proteinaceous and packed with fiber and is a whole food. And so while the plant-based world is fantastic, those products are really good, we at the Better Meat Co. and other companies that Glenn mentions are making whole food meat alternatives that are all natural and that are intact fibers and whole proteins, a complete amino acid profile proteins that create the meat experience in a way that does not require any type of isolation, fractionation, extrusion, or all the other things they do to make the plant-based burgers that are popular today. And so to answer your question directly, Steve, the fungi kingdom is virtually untapped. Corn, which is 99% of the mycoprotein market today, uses one organism. My company, the Better Meat Co., uses not just a different organism, but a different genus altogether of fungi, one that's called Neurospora, which is a different genus that produces in my opinion, much more meat-like experience and doesn't require the addition of things like egg whites or other ingredients to make it more meat-like in the way that corn often does. So I hope that other companies are going to come up and discover other really cool fungi species that they make into whole food products as well. That would be fantastic. But there's not that much yet. Not that much that's on the market as far as mycoproteins are concerned, primarily because it needs to scale. Corn has had 25 years to scale. We at the Better Meat Co. are only 6 years old, and we need to keep growing. So hopefully with time and increased injections of capital, we'll get there.
If I could jump in with a question, Paul, could you break down for us what is the nutritional profile of a better meat product? Is it 100% protein?
No,
Is
no,
there
not
any
at
fat in it? Tell us
all.
about it.
Yeah, so the mycoprotein that we grow on a dry weight basis is about 50% protein. And so if you think about, like, let's say a pea on a dry weight basis is about 20% protein. And so that's why they have to isolate that protein to make it more proteinaceous, right? That's why they make a pea protein powder by stripping out the fiber and stripping out the fat. Our product is about 50% protein on a dry weight basis as a whole food. And then it's most of the rest of it is just fiber. And it's typically intact fiber, it's very rich in beta glucans as an example. And
So
so
in terms of calories, is it 100% protein in terms of calories?
That's a good question. Would it be 100%? It's not 100%. There would be like a very small amount of fat in there, but it's very small. Like
Mhm.
fungi don't naturally produce a lot of fat. That's not just something that they're good at.
Mhm.
So yeah, most of those calories are coming from protein. The reason it's called a mycoprotein is just because it's so high in protein for a whole food. Even though normally when we think of protein, we're thinking about protein isolates. In this case, though, we're thinking about a whole food protein. And so that's one of the big benefits of utilizing mycelium or mycoprotein is that you get something that is naturally extremely rich in protein that rivals animal-based meat and eggs and so on when it comes to protein and iron and zinc. But you don't have to process it. You can do it in a whole food, all natural way. And the real key is how do you scale it? Once you're scaled, it's actually quite cost competitive. Interestingly, I was in London not that long ago, and I knew that they were serving corn at KFC, and I just wanted to see it to see what the price differential was. And so I passed by a KFC and I walked in just to look at the menu, and corn's product was basically at price parity with chicken at KFC. So this, you think about other companies in the plant-based space, including some that you mentioned earlier, these companies are selling generally at 2, 3, 4 times the price of animal-based meat. Maybe not organic grass-fed meat, but like conventional commodity animal-based meat. Generally, plant-based meats are sold 200, 300, 400, 500% the price of those meats. Whereas corn growing mycoproteins at actual scale has been able to now rival the cost of chicken, and not just like pasture-based chicken, but actual conventional commodity chicken. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing, and that's our aspiration at the Better Meat Co., the company that I run as well.